There was a dog of mine, like, so I was doing my process, and there you told us to finally call your spirit animals to like hold you and like finally give you the safety of the herd and like finally give you the power. And that dog came to me, like, he was glowing and stuff, and suddenly I recognized that this is my dog from like the childhood thing, and tears came out of my eyes. Like, I was never able to cry, and suddenly I didn't thought about his death or something. That came out of me, and I started crying for like 15 minutes because I hugged the dog, and like I finally tell I love you so much, because there was that like love that was inside for him for that.
Hey, what's up guys, welcome to another video. I have Deepak here with me today, who's been a client with me for High Cycle, the program that we did, where we helped him sort out certain issues that he was facing. Like even before High Cycle, we were sorting out his social life and his dating life from the previous business that was there. And I wanted to get him on board and just share his journey with High Cycle and how that's helped him in his life and what was the reason of him choosing to go for this stuff. Alright, so first of all, welcome bro. Welcome Deepak.
Thanks for having me,
Welcome
bro.
to the channel. So tell me bro, like tell me about your journey. Tell me, how do you feel right now? And then how were you feeling before that?
Like bro, like
what's your life situation right now?
It's pretty chill, bro. Like the biggest difference that I feel, like we did, I guess like an year back or something.
Yeah, it's been
like
a year.
Like the biggest difference that I feel right now is like I'm generally more happy, like in life, like more acceptance of everything. Like I don't feel like if something doesn't happen the way I want it to go. I used to get completely like devastated before.
Give me an example.
Like I was a very controlling nature kind of a person. Like I wanted my life to go a certain way. I had a plan for next 10 years. Like I'll want to do this today. Tomorrow I'll do it at 4. I'll do it at 5. Something like that. Planning everything out. And if certain thing doesn't go my way, I used to get completely like triggered and like devastated, like what the fuck, my life is such a bad thing,
and negative self-talk that I'm such a bad person, I can't even hustle properly and be consistent with this thing.
So I used to get pretty devastated before, like if it used to happen. But now what's happening is like even if certain things doesn't go my way, I am pretty aware about that. Like, oh my god, it doesn't affect me that much. Like I'm completely acceptant of the situation, and due to that, that negative self-talk, saying that I'm a bad person, I don't deserve something, I'm such a piece of shit. It used to happen before, but that negative self-talk is, I won't say it's completely gone, but mostly like it was like my happiness level was 3 or 4 before. Now it's 7 or 7.5.
Alright, so set state of happiness was around 3 and 4, and then if something goes bad with 3 and 4, from there even you'd go even lower because of negative self-talk, and now you're at a baseline of let's say 7 and 8. And with like peak states going to 9, 10 and stuff. Right. So that's great. Yeah, that's great. So this is one part of negative self-talk. But then what we focus on out here is mainly our our issues with relationships, our issues with friends and families, and just general happiness, commitment issues, anxiety and stuff. So all of the, like, what about all of the other things? What were the other things that you were going through which made you sign up for the program, which made you feel like I need to do something about it?
Yeah, so I'll tell you about like why I finally decided to like sign up for the program.
For sure.
I was the kind of guy who's like completely like a loner kind of a guy. Like, I used to live alone, and like I never had any friends growing up, so naturally it was like instinct for me, because I'm also like the first child, and like I was pampered and stuff, and my parents like told me to like not go out and play with other kids because they are the bad kids, they like put you into bad company. So that's naturally I was like the kind of person who like started living alone, and like I had no friends growing up. So when I went to college, like it was okay till I did my school and stuff, but when I went to my college for like first, second year, I finally found some friends, and it was a bit difficult for me to gel up with friends. So I saw some of the cool kids were doing like cigarettes,
smoking and stuff.
So I got into that, and
to be a part of the thing, and
finally become the cool guy, and like all that stuff.
I feel like you have to do all those things to get accepted there.
Because I was not able to like connect with people, to be honest. Like I was the kind of person who has to like always do something in order to get other people interested in me. I had to change myself and change who I am. Like I have to change my jokes, I have to change who I am. Maybe I have to say something cool in order to be accepted in the group. So I started, like I saw that all the cool kids like who are cool and stuff, like who get girls and stuff, so they are doing this like smoking and stuff, and like drinking and partying all day, and like having this like doing this stuff. So I naturally got into it to finally like become cool. And for first 2 years I was doing that. My grades went bad, and like I was like doing that, but somehow I felt that this is not me. I did it for first 2 years, and after my second year I got completely fed up with that.
Of changing yourself and pandering to other people.
Yeah, and doing this like smoking and shit, and like
drinking,
somehow like changing myself for these other people.
Yeah.
So there I like finally decided like I'll somehow change myself and that. So I got into personal development. Like I found a book from like Dale Carnegie, the
How to Win Friends.
How to Win Friends and Influence People. I've like read that. Today I won't recommend that too because it's a pretty bit manipulative, but I got into self-development due to that. I got into it, so like I started myself. I watched like various channels like RST and stuff. Like I somehow found that channel. I was like, I got an idea about pickup.
Yeah.
So
for dating and everything.
Yeah. Because my dating life also started pretty bad. I didn't have any much.
And the only way you thought you can get a girl or a partner is when you change yourself completely and do things which other people want you to do.
Yeah.
Alright.
So that thing, and then I saw RSD. I was completely like that. You have to you can somehow change, because I never thought that I'll be able to change. Yeah. So I like their philosophy and stuff. So due to that, I started watching videos, and like I became like a guy who used to watch videos, but I never took any action.
Right.
So somehow I used to change that, do that stuff, and then fast forward, I just watched those videos for 2 years, but nothing changed for me. Due to that, I got into personal development. I used to try everything. I used to do like cold showers. I used to do all that stuff, like no
improving
fab
yourself. No fab, cold showers, eating. I don't know, like different diets, keto and this and that.
Reading books every day and like all that stuff.
Because every millionaire reads like one book a week.
Yeah, that thing. Like I completely got into it. So,
but why is that bad? Why did you find that was bad and that was not good?
Yeah, like I won't say that is bad, but the point is never gets me results like the results that I want in life. It's just like a feel good kind of a thing that I'm, oh my god, look at me, I read so many books every day. I'm so better than other people.
So sort of feeling good enough finally.
Yeah.
Alright, that I'm doing something so that I feel better about myself.
Yeah, but nothing changed on the like
on a practical
level. Nothing changed. I was still the same guy. I was like running behind something, feeling because somehow it became like an escape for me. Like reading books and like doing these things somehow gave me like, oh my god, I'm better than other people.
Right.
So I find ego boost kind of a thing, but like never did anything. But fast forward like 2 years, in my 4th year I realized that I was watching videos day and night about the pickup, and it was inside my mind. I had this thing that when I finally approach, I'll do it like that. I did it for 2 years, and then somehow I thought I'll never be able to do this thing. But then I kind of knew about you because I thought that maybe this thing doesn't work in India. I had these kinds of beliefs. But then I saw your channel and I finally got into the dating advice thing.
Got it.
Like from there, like I saw your channel and I came to Delhi. I was in Delhi, like I was working and stuff. So I thought like finally I'm done with it. I want to finally get it over with. So I took your dating program.
Yeah.
But the basic was that I want to finally feel good and like finally do something about it. So I took your program. I joined the mentorship, and before I didn't used to had any girls before, but then I thought when I finally have girls, I'll feel good because this is something RSD conditioned you to.
Right.
To be honest.
Like general personal development advice is also that like, I mean, you'll feel good enough when you hustle in life and when you finally accomplish something.
Yeah. Right. So I got into it. I started getting girls. Like first, my personality was shit. Like I was not able to be expressive at all. I was not able to talk to people, put myself out there, be like the charismatic guy, get into state if you call it like that.
Right.
But then I learned it all the way, like the webinars and stuff, and like I was finally able to get girls. But even when I used to get girls, when I was out like gaming, talking to girls, I used to feel pretty awesome. Like I used to do it like day and night. Like after my office, I used to get off at like 6 and I used to do it like 11.
Right. And talk to people, go out there, socialize.
Just do it for like 5 hours, 7 days straight for like 6 to 7 months. I used to do it.
Yeah.
But I got pretty damn good with it. I know, like I used to like pretty much get girls and stuff. But after that, what I used to see is like when I was in the field, I used to hit state and stuff. I used to feel pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But when I used to went back home, like I used to like be there with me. Let's suppose there's no girl talking to me. Some girl rejected me and stuff.
Right.
I used to feel pretty down. Like, oh my god, I'm a piece of shit. And I used to go back to that state when I used to feel that before.
Right.
So I doubled down on my dating. Like I doubled down.
You need more of it.
More of it.
Yeah.
So like it was the constant chase and like it was just running behind something.
Of basically like you had a feeling that I'm not good enough and you thought that I can change that by when finally I have girls and I have friends and that will change.
Yeah.
But it never changed.
It never changed.
Right. So similarly this happens with the money as well. Like people are like, once you become successful, once we have a lot of money, we're gonna finally feel good enough, we'll be happy. And when it doesn't happen, the people think that more of this is gonna be helpful. We need more, we're not doing enough. So we constantly get into that chase again of escaping. Alright.
The same thing, man.
Right.
So then after that, I remember when I we used to had meetups.
When we met in the meetup.
The mentorship. So I finally attended my first meetup, and there you guys were talking about, you had a core group and stuff.
Yeah, about high worth.
About high worth and who did all this stuff. So in our work. So I saw you guys, you were talking about how this thing works and stuff, and I was pretty intrigued by it, that this is maybe this is something that is missing right now, maybe I'm doing the wrong things, maybe I'm chasing the wrong things, and this is not something that has to be done to feel finally good about myself. So I was intrigued by it. So I remember I finally asked you, are you you told me that you have learned it for past 3 years and practiced it and stuff. So I remember asking her, when are you going to have a workshop or something, because I'm looking for something like that. She told me we can plan it or something. So we did a workshop together, and I think that was the tipping point of that.
Right. So alright, the base was that I'm not good enough. Then I'll change myself, and I'll change myself more and more and more, and finally get some girls and what people think you can be enough because a successful guy has money and girls and everything. Once that happens, you'll feel good enough, but that wasn't the case. So then we came here. A lot of the root of this just goes back to our childhood, right? And all of our behavioral patterns, our relationship patterns, our defense mechanisms, coping strategies that we have, all of the wounds, the voids, the unmet needs that we have, all of that goes back into the childhood, right? So what did you discover in the workshop about this? So you came with a basic idea that, there's something off. Yeah. So what did you discover about that in the workshop? Where was the core of it? What could you find out? So
I remember coming into workshop, when I was starting for the workshop, I used to feel oh my god, I was a bit excited about it, but I didn't know what would I be expecting. So I was a bit skeptical, should I do it or not, but still I thought I'll just go forward with it. Still I've done it and stuff, finally let's just try it for what it is. So I came into the workshop and I just had okay, maybe we'll do some processes as Primas told me, and we'll be given some theory and stuff. Then I got into it and you start talking about it, and first I was a bit skeptical, but when you started talking about how you giving your theory and stuff, you told us how childhood affects us and how we don't feel good enough due to the certain conditioning and certain things that happen to us in the childhood. So that bring back various memories. So I always
give me some examples.
Yeah. So I still remember you telling us about various stuff how our childhood affects us, and how certain things that happen to us bullying and maybe our parents fighting and all that stuff had a deeper impact on our personality. So I was okay, let's give it a shot. But then you told us some specific examples, maybe you saw your mother beating up, maybe you were bullied as a kid, and that left an impression on you like that. And that's when I finally started to discover that maybe no, this is something that had some impact on me, and maybe this is why I have these issues that I have today due to the things that happened to me in the childhood.
Right. So what was the specific things you found out that happened? Because what happens, right? Anytime I ask anyone, how's your parenting, how's your childhood been? Everyone's it's been perfect. I love my parents, right? But when we get into this stuff and we talk to them more, we can find out that there were a lot of things that might feel good right now, but were pretty traumatic as a child, right? So we sort of just deny that, or we don't accept it, or we just feel oh yeah, this is very normal, right? And what's normal for one person is traumatic for the other person as well, okay? And it gets normalized because there's no other choice for us unless you deal with it. So what did you discover in the workshop? Certain things that brought back memories, because initially we don't even have memories about that. We blocked it so much because though it's such painful memories, right? We don't want to bring it up. But in an environment like that where you're working and there's someone guiding you, you feel more safe and you can bring it out. So yeah, tell me more about that.
So yeah, I remember my first instant when it happened to me, when all the memories came back. Was this is something my mother told me when I was a kid, that okay, when you were born, you were a premature baby, right? You were born 21 days before the conceiving date, and then you have to be put in a laboratory in a tube or something, nursery care, and there you have to be kept away and stuff. So I was always I had that thing in mind, but I never really thought about that. So there I still remember we were doing that infant self process that we used to do, where we used to bring us back to the childhood state when we are born and stuff, and then we had you took us back there. So I remember I was started like we were crying and stuff, and we were doing that process, and suddenly it came back to me. Like I don't know, not in terms of like a thing that you visualize, but in terms of like a feeling, that
body sensation.
Right. So like it was completely like my body was like shivering from top to bottom when it came back to me. The thing was like I felt that I'm suddenly like left in a cradle, like in that nursery cradle, and like I'm alone there. Like I feel like I'm alone there. Something has been cut from my part. Like I'm detached from something maybe, and like I'm there alone. I'm looking for my mom. Mostly the only person I knew at that time when I was born, and I'm looking for her. And suddenly I want her to be there because I feel really scared. I feel really like vulnerable at that time. I really want her to be there, but she's not coming there. Like it's too much, it's too long. I really want her, and I feel really angry. I don't know, like, and that somehow built like resentment towards me and like towards my mom and like something like that, and it like really like triggered me. And it like my body completely shivered for like 5 to 10 minutes. I was run from top to bottom. And in my feelings, I knew that this was somehow true. Like this is somehow like this is something that really happened. It came and it went back, but that was like the first instant that when it came to me. Like
right. So usually people also think that because you knew about this from your mother, was it because of the thinking it came out, or was it happened in the moment? Because sometimes, let's say, like you know, somebody would be watching this video and they're like, bro, everything was fine. Like somebody would be skeptical on the thing that, what if your mind made you think all that? What would you say?
No, I don't think so. I was just doing the process. Like I didn't had it in mind. Like I remember my mother telling it when I was my 7th or 8th. I never thought about it.
Right.
But it somehow happened in the moment. Like I felt that I'm alone somewhere. I'm waiting for someone and nobody's coming to me. And it was very real at that moment. It was not something that my mind made up. And how I knew it was real, that as soon as this memory came up, my body like completely, like I could feel every cell inside it. It was a zun, like that feeling. I like every cell in my body is like felt, and it was completely like, I don't know, out of the world thing. And like it was real to me in that moment. It was not something that my mind made up.
Yeah, I can understand. Okay, and then you said you were crying. So generally, like, men, we're not supposed to cry, right? Those are the messages that we get. So how has your experience been with crying before the workshop and in the workshop? How is that different?
Yeah, that was the thing. Like I remember, like, for past 4 to 5 years, I never, before the workshop, I never thought that I cried at any point in time. This used to happen to me, that I was like wanting to cry. Like I wanted to cry, and I knew there are some emotions inside of me. Like unconsciously, I knew that like there's some emotion I need to let go of. I want to cry. As soon as like I was alone, I was at the brink of crying. I don't know, something would happen and like it would just like suppress,
block you out, and
and I would not be able to cry. And I was like get frustrated due to that, and I'm not able to cry. So I remember like there was this toddler cell process in the workshop, and we were doing that, and suddenly, I don't know, there was a dog of mine, like I was in my first standard, or like he was my like he grew up with me during my childhood. He was pretty close to me, but I didn't knew that, like, because he died in a like bus accident in front of me when I was in my second standard. So that happened. So I was doing my process, and there you told us to finally call your spirit animal to like hold you and like finally give you the safety of the herd, and like finally give you the power. I thought about my spirit animal, that I want to call my spirit animal, and that dog came to me, like he was glowing and stuff, and like he was all glowing in golden. He came to me to help me, and suddenly I recognized that this is my dog from like the childhood thing, and literally like tears came out of my eyes. Like I was never able to cry, and suddenly I didn't thought about his death or something. That came out of me, and I started crying for like 15 minutes. And this is finally, I was like, what the fuck is happening to me right now? I was like crying and stuff, and I was very happy also, because I hugged the dog, and like I finally tell I love you so much, because there was that like love that was inside for him for that. So this is how I remember that I finally like cried when I saw that dog in my like dreams and stuff. So I was crying for like 15 minutes straight up after that.
Right. So what's the significance of this dog? Some story also you were telling me, right?
Yeah, so this dog was like my childhood dog. When I was growing up, I was very close to him, because I don't know why, but I used to play with him every day, and like then he died in front of me. Like I still remember, like he was like run over by a bus, and like I was like there, and then I was my grandfather, so he knew that it's something traumatic for a kid, and he just rushed me into the bus, and like we went but like this is something I never processed, I guess, and those unpent emotions were there from my second standard, and then they came out in that workshop after like I would say like 16 to 17 years, I guess, and then they came up and they were pretty overwhelming and pretty like relieving for me when I finally knew that okay, this is like something I had to take care of. Like it got released during that thing, and I finally after that I still remember like now whenever I feel those unpent emotions, like that block of like never crying was completely gone. Now whenever I feel I'm like overwhelmed, like I have to like process some emotions and I feel like crying, I'm able to do it like that. Like I cry during the SRK movies now. Like, it happens like that. Like.
So now it flows much more. Alright. Also, there's this thing like if you can't feel the negative emotions, if you're blocking out certain emotions, you'll not be able to feel the joyous ones as well. So because like emotions are in like a spectrum, like you block out pain, you're gonna block out happiness as well. And once we can let go and once we can treat emotions and we can treat what we feel in the moment naturally, we free ourselves to experiencing life basically.
Yeah.
Perfect. So that's there, all right. Now tell me more about your relationships. There were certain blocks around your relationships as well that you were feeling, and what was that mainly related to when you figured that out?
Yeah. So I remember like before the workshop, I had, like still had like a couple of girlfriends. Like I got them here and there. Like some cousin introduced them to me, and they were like impressed and stuff. So I still remember this happening. Like I had 3 girlfriends, and this relationship with them was like what do you call, like a power play. Like it used to, like it was a back and forth of like a power thing that was going on there. Now what used to happen that initially when the relationship was on in love, like a pretty honeymoon phase, maybe like for like a week or maybe like a month or maybe 2 months, I would be like pretty on in the relationship. It was pretty like chemistry was there and there was like hot thing going on. But as soon as like there was time to settle down and get a commitment and they were asking for a commitment, I would like block it off. Like, I don't know, I don't want to be in a relationship. I would somehow feel that this partner would engulf me. I don't want to be with her, and I would like break it off.
Like they're going to trap you, and your freedom is going to be taken away. Which is huge for men. That's what we feel mainly in relationships. Alright, great. Then what would happen?
Then what would happen is like I would like cut it off with them. I would block them. It will be pretty dramatic and stuff. And then for like a week or 2, I'll be like, oh my god, finally I got out of it. That girl was a bitch or something. I don't want to say that, but this is something I used to feel. And like I would like cut it off, and after a couple weeks when I would not hear back from them, I would like hit them back. Like, oh my god, I somehow like, oh my god, I was such a piece of shit. Why did I let it go? And I would realize that, and then I would text them, and then somehow they will come back, and then again when they ask for it, I'll break it off. And I was fine that this is somehow her fault, not mine. And I would like break it off.
That she's trying to trap you and she's the evil one trying to take away things from you. Alright, so basically the pattern being that you wanted love and intimacy, you'd go for it. As soon as it was getting too much, you'd pull back. And then again, when you'd feel like the girl is moving on, you're losing the validation, using the love, fear of abandonment would kick in, and then you'd want to go back again. And this went on and on and on and on with all the 3 girlfriends that you had. Okay. Was it the same with your family and friends as well?
Like with friends, I will tell you there was one thing. Like with girlfriend, I knew that I want a girlfriend, and like society tells that you need a girlfriend to complete you and stuff. So I finally actively tried to get a girlfriend, but I was not able to become like any close to any friend and stuff. I was never able to like have a real deeper friendship. And I had like a couple of friends, and they were like pretty like good friends, but never in the sense that I have to like
intimate friends,
and where I could open up finally and have like a deeper relationship. I still remember like people you would come up to me and they'll like try to give me like they'll like try to open up to me and like they'll try to extend their friendship. They would invite me and stuff. They would like invite me to parties, and they would invite me in a place where I would be like a figure where I'll be like somehow they'll be giving me respect and stuff, but I don't know why I would not go there. I would somehow find like an excuse that I don't want to go there, I don't want to do this. But this is something that used to happen with my friendships and stuff.
Alright, so we figured out the reason for this, alright. What was the reason you figured out in the program?
Yeah, so it was during the process that we have of the enmeshment thing.
Enmeshment, right.
Yeah, so I still remember like, there was like, I'll tell you a backstory about my mom and dad. Like my mom and dad, like they fight a lot. They're in a pretty toxic relationship, if you have to say that. So what happens is my dad is in an army, my mom is like a housewife and stuff. So my dad somehow thinks that my mom cheats on her. I don't know what the story is, but it was a pretty toxic relationship that they stay in the relationship, they fight a lot, there's domestic violence, there's a lot of drama.
And this was entire life, or when
this was entire life, like from the starting, as long as I can remember.
Okay, so your first relationship that you ever saw was like this?
Yeah, it was like this.
Okay,
only.
Go on.
And even my grandfather and grandmother had a similar kind of relationship as
your
what
parents
told me.
Alright.
And I still remember this was like the same thing, and they would fight a lot. So this is one time, we used to stay with my grandparents at their house, and this one time, my dad was finally, I want to take my family along with me. Everybody stays with the family, so he took us to Bangalore.
Right.
So he took us there.
Earlier, your dad was in the army, right?
Yeah,
so he wouldn't be staying with you.
Yeah, he wouldn't be he would be coming for a month or two every year.
Right.
And so that one time he decided I want to stay full time with my family and I want to be with them and stuff. So when I was 4 years old, he took us to Bangalore, where he was commissioned. And I still remember there was a lot of domestic violences happen. He used to beat up my mom, and he used to come drunk. He was he used to do cigarettes, and he used to drink every day. He used to come and beat. Somehow it used to happen. I used to get very scared. I used to go. I used to go and hide behind the table, or maybe under the bed. That I don't want to do it.
When that's happening.
Yeah. Then they used to pretend that nothing happened. This is something you feel. No, we don't fight and stuff. This used to happen. But then when my mom when my dad went back to his job, my mom would come and she'll cry in front of me, and it would get really. It was a very different kind of a relationship that I wanted. It was she used to share all her stuff with me, and it used to overburden me because I was a 4-year-old kid. How the hell would I be able to handle such a pressure? So this used to happen to me, and she would overburden me every time with oh my god, your dad is like this. Never become like your dad. Never become that. I'll leave your dad. I'll leave the situation. I'm only here in this relationship because of you. Because I have to take care of you. Otherwise, I would have left and have my great life. So this kind of used to make me feel like I'm the one who's responsible for my mother's situation right now. And now I'm somehow responsible to listen to her, because I used to feel guilty, and then I used to listen to her. She would overburden me every time with her problems, and then it made me oh my god, resentment towards my mother. And when this is the core of intimate relationship, that you have to share and stuff. So whenever I used to get into any intimate relationship where I have commitment and stuff, coming back to my girlfriend thing, and you have to share and have some sort of intimacy, I used to feel that the same thing is going to happen to me, what my mother used to do it to me. I will feel the same way. So I just don't want it at all.
And that no one's going to be there to take care of you, and you'll have to take care of the other person more.
True.
All right. So also, with that, that was towards your mother, you felt certain guilt and resentment at the same time, because expectations of being a child, right? And towards your father, what was the emotion?
That was anger. That was pure anger.
Pure anger.
I was never close to my dad. I still had this what do you call the male block, or the father block, something like that, where you're not able to get along with males. I was not able to do that. That was because I never had any relationship with my father when I was growing up. That was because I had this anger towards him, how can you do this to mom, and no, you're not supposed to do that, you're supposed to take care and stuff. So there was a lot of pent up anger inside for him. And now coming to workshop, when we're doing this thing, anger release process, all the anger, that memories of when I was a 4-year-old kid, when he was beating my mother, I was hiding in under a bed, and I don't want them to fight. That came back and brought back a lot of anger memories towards my dad. So then we did that process, constellation and stuff, we did that, and then we released that anger, and finally I was able to release all that anger towards my dad, and I was finally able to somehow accept and see him for my dad, and not somehow. I used to feel above him, oh my god, I'm better than my dad, I'm much better than him. But then I used to finally see that, oh my god, this guy is also in a bit in pain. Maybe he's acting from his own traumas.
For sure.
And I need to accept my dad, and he's always above me. And that was a tipping point of my relationship with my dad, which is pretty good. After the now I get along with him pretty fine, and with my mom also it's pretty great with my family. And now with my dad, I'm finally able to act like the kid, and he's my dad, and we have a pretty good relationship now.
So all the anger and stuff was inside you, and it wasn't getting released, wasn't getting expressed. I mean, there's a sense of guilt if you hate anyone in the family, right? Because your parents are supposed to be the best people. They've done so much for you, right? And people usually say, what kind of a kid are you? But generally speaking, what you feel inside is a fact. what people expect of you as a society is again an expectation that's not clear, and that leads to even more shame and more low self-worth, because the negative self-talk goes like, what kind of a child am I if I hate my parents, right? And then you can't even love them because you have certain pain inside, and no one teaches us how to process that, to let go of it.
True.
And only once we can process that pain, we can bring it out, we can let go of all that anger, can we really look at our parents the way we are
supposed to look.
Yeah, the way we're supposed to. Otherwise, we just hold on baggage for years and years. So, once this got sorted out, how did your relation with the men and how did your relation with the women change, or intimate relationships as well?
So I'll tell you how, because we as men, we are supposed to pull each other's legs, and we're supposed to fuck around with each other and stuff. But I was never able to do that due to that, because I never had that role model growing up. So after that, I finally accepted that part of me. I started working on it, and now with other men, I have some good friends. We pull each other's legs, and I'm finally able to embrace my masculinity, if you have to call it like that. I was never able to do that. Now I'm able to become fearless, and I'm able to have confrontations and stuff. I was never able to do that. And one thing, I became a people pleaser after my mom thing. I was always a very agreeable person. I was not able to disagree to someone. I would always let other people burden me. I would let them share all this stuff, and I was never able to say anything, because that was only my way to get other people attracted to me. Because
the basic example was that how I get my mother's love is when I listen to her.
True, that exactly. So I was always green to other people. I was not able to have that thing, where if I don't like something, I'll in a way, I don't want to talk about it. Please just go away from me right now. So now fast, after I embrace that part of me, the confrontation part with the relationship with other man, I'm finally able to move out of that identity where I have to be there for other people. Nobody's there for me. I have to always do something for other people to get them interested in me. So I'm finally able to do that. So with relationship, it's better. With men, with women,
intimate relationships.
I finally have a girlfriend. I was not able to commit for very long time, but then I thought I was seeing this girl for 2 to 3 months, and then I finally decided, I asked her, hey, I want to get into a relationship. This is my story, and I told her, I was pretty honest and upfront about it. I might have some trauma and stuff. This is my situation. Do you want to get into it with me? And she was like, okay, fine, I like you and stuff. So now it's been more than a year now, and we are in a relationship now.
Congrats, bro. Congrats.
Thanks, bro.
So now intimacy issues are much better, commitment issues are much better, social relation with people.
Much better, bro.
So being a people pleaser?
No, bro, it's gone. No.
So now, so one thing with the in childhood is we want the love of our mother, right? But when finally we get the love of the mother, we get burdened by problems and everything, and so we become split like that as human beings. And similarly with the father as well, there's some blind loyalty towards the father, but we cannot get that done. And then certain patterns we learn. So patterns in your case was being a people pleaser, running away from commitment and intimacy, and blocking out that emotional part of you, and which is basically what we are, as men are also conditioned, and it makes things worse for us because certain expectations are being put which we don't want to do. Okay, alright, so that winds us up for your relationships and for your fraternal relationships, social and emotional and everything. So what generally, when trauma happens, alright, so certain traumas that we can see out here, you mentioned bullying happened, you mentioned almost that's how we register it when we're born. We register it as abandonment and rejection. When you're left away from the mother for 20 days or something, right? How long was it?
It was 20 days, I guess.
21 days. 21 days, alright. That, and then after that, when finally your mother is there, she's burdening you with stuff. And at the same time, as a child, we have certain needs. Alright, we have needs of being loved, needs of safety, appreciation, validation. And when parents are sort of busy fighting all the time, there's no one to take care of us, and we need to decide that, alright, anytime I go for love, I'm not going to receive it, so I'd rather just block it away. I don't want it at all. Alright, combining it with the enmeshment, fear of abandonment, all that. So that leads to a lot of problems socially, our behaviors and everything, which leads to the workplace as well. Our motivations in the workplace and certain behaviors which are not true. So was that the case with you? Could you identify certain things that changed in your the way you work or your studies, anything that way?
Yeah. So I remember always this used to be this thing with me. When I was in college, in school. I was in 3rd, 4th. So I was never the topper, but I was the guy who's just below him.
Okay.
And I would purposely do that. So all my teachers, all my mothers, like whenever we used to have like a parents-teacher meeting, they used to tell me that this guy is like, he can do a lot of stuff, but he purposely doesn't do it. Like he janbujh ke karta hai, like he does it on the purpose and stuff. So it used to happen. Now coming back to it, it became a pattern for me that I would leave things till the time it's too late for me. Then I would do them the last moment. Because it would give me that rush, like, oh my god, I'm a procrastinator. Because that became kind of like my identity, that maybe I'm like a procrastinator. I don't do it. I purposely fuck things up.
Right. So the messages that teachers and parents were giving you, you took them to heart.
Yeah.
Like this person doesn't do it janbujh. Like he does it purposely. Like leave things till the end. So you generally started leaving things till the end, and that became your identity.
Yeah. Okay. So I used to do that. Now coming to like my workplace. So it used to happen that I was in this job where I have to like actually go and see clients, and I have to like do stuff. And there was a thing, if I like follow up on the right time, if I talk to them on the right time, the deal would be sealed. And if I do it a bit like before the time, like definitely it was a done deal. But I don't know, like I still remember, like my meeting was at like 10 and it was 9:30. It took me like an hour or an hour and a half to reach there. So I would wait till the last moment, and somehow I would get late and it would be delayed and it would fuck up my thing. Like I would be procrastinating, or even for like my sales report and stuff, I would like wait till the very last moment, and even then I won't do that because somehow I'm a procrastinator. And then I would like finally, when I had some sort of a pressure, I would like come under that pressure and I finally do it. I have to do it. But I would never do it on time so that I finally like accomplish it, because somehow I was like sabotaging my own success in order to get up.
Right.
I would like not wanting to go up and become the best, because that was not my identity. Due to that thing that I can never be the best, because I purposely fuck things up.
Also, there's a fear of being seen as well, fear of being successful.
Yeah, that's big too.
If our identity is that we're not good enough, and when we finally succeed, we are going to be good enough. And all our life when we procrastinated, that is very difficult for us to accept. That basically, that's us saying that purposefully we haven't been successful, and that's a very hard reality to swallow. So we keep this identity intact all our life, because that's what makes us more used to, and that's what we're more comfortable with. Right. So once you realized this was happening and once we processed it, then how did things change after that?
So once we processed it, after that, like the pattern won't go that easily. I have to still work for it, but it was conscious in my mind.
Okay,
so
you were aware of it now.
Aware of it. So this is one thing that I found, that even if you're aware about something, you can finally begin to change it.
Yeah.
Because before it was not in my awareness. So I started changing, and I would find myself doing it. Then I would like come back to it. It was a bit difficult in the start. But once I got hold of it, I finally was able to change my identity to a level where like I see myself procrastinating. I can become aware of that, and I do it. And even now, like I don't procrastinate much.
Alright, so now whatever you wanted to get sorted, everything got sorted there?
Yeah, true.
Alright, so how was your like finally just wrapping up the video? How was your like total experience with that? How's your life now? And just any last words if you have?
Yeah, amazing, man. Like this is like, if you call like the true personal development, if you have to get into it, because the thing I was searching for before, this is the real answer for that. Because most of the people, we are searching for happiness in order to feel complete about ourselves. That's why we run behind girls, we run behind money, we run behind all these aspects of life, that I finally want to achieve this thing in order to feel complete. But this is something I found, that you'll never feel complete unless you finally accept yourself. And if you run behind something, there'll always be a next thing that you have to go to, next thing you have to go to, next stage you have to finally get. But if you can somehow accept yourself and like finally let go of these traumas you have, and then finally accept yourself and your life situation for what it is, and finally feel complete in you, then you can definitely start to work towards all the goals you have. And this is where the final, like your true transformation will occur, and then you can finally achieve your goals. Otherwise, self-sabotage and these negative beliefs you have will get you. So for anyone like who wants to get into it, definitely go into it, because this is something like that will completely change your life.
Yeah, for sure, bro. I mean, this has been the best thing in my experience with whatever I've experienced, and then been working with people as well. So I mean, it's been absolutely amazing, and I'm glad it was amazing for you as well, bro.
Thanks, bro.
So thank you for coming, bro. Thank you, Deepak, for sharing your journey. And I mean, I'll see you soon as well. So for anybody that's watching, thank you guys for watching. And if you want to just like understand how there are things which are blocking you, or if you could relate to any of Deepak's story out here, anything, even one part of it that you could relate, schedule a call with me, alright? Schedule a call with me, go to the link below. There'll be a quick form. There'll be some questions that you've got to answer so that I understand your situation better. It's going to be a completely free call. Get on a call with me, free breakthrough session. We're going to discover and we're going to go in depth to your situation and understanding what your goals are, and then devising a plan to get you to those goals. Get that done. I'm going to see you on the call, and till then, this is Kshitij signing off. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.